Welcome to our journey into the lives of the largest people on Earth. We shall delve into the lofty heights, distinctive struggles, and enduring legacies of giants from the past and present, including Robert Wadlow and others. They left an unforgettable imprint on history by not only shattering records, but also shocking everyone. Come explore the incredible lives of the 20 tallest people on Earth with us. 20. Robert Wadlow. Robert Wadlow is still the tallest person ever known. He was born on February 22, 1918 in Alton, Illinois, USA. His abnormally high height was caused by swelling of his pituitary gland, which made him grow very quickly from a very young age. When Wadlow was born, he was a normal size. But by the time he was 6 feet 2 inches, 188 cm, bigger than his father. During his teen years and into adulthood, he continued to grow at an exponential rate. Robert Wadlow was a huge man when he was an adult. He was 8 feet 11.1 inches, 272 meters tall, and weighed about 439 pounds, 199 kilos. His hands were 12 inches, 30 centimeters, long from wrist to tip of the finger, and his feet were 18.5 inches, 47 centimeter long. Whilst he was very tall, Wadlow was known for having a soft personality and was often described as smart and kind. Wadlow's huge height made many things in his daily life hard. He needed clothes and shoes that were made just for him, as well as furniture that was made just for him. He also had trouble moving around in small areas. His size also put a lot of stress on his body, which caused many health problems, such as long-lasting leg and joint pain. Even with all of these problems, Wadlow was determined to live as normally as possible. He went to school, took part in community events, and even got a job as a spokesperson for the International Shoe Company. As word spread about Robert Wadlow's amazing height, people became more interested in him. It was like he became famous, and he went to events and art shows all over the United States. He was known as the Alton Giant, and people came from all over the world to see him. The shows that Wadlow put on were not only a show, but they also helped bring attention to medical illnesses like gigantism and acromegaly. The sad truth is that Robert Wadlow only lived to be 22 years old. He got a blister on his ankle in July 1940 while on tour in Michigan. The blister turned into an illness. Even though he got medical help, the sickness got worse, and on July 15, 1940, he died. His death was a terrible loss for everyone, including his family and the many people who had been charmed by his huge size and kind personality. Robert Wadlow left behind more than just his amazing height. People still remember him as an example of how strong people can be even when they are physically weak, and as proof of how complicated human biology is. His story is a good lesson of how important it is to understand and care about people who have rare medical conditions. Their lives are often filled with amazing challenges and bravery. 19. John Rogan. John Rogan was born in Hendersonville, Tennessee, USA, in 1868. He was one of the tallest people ever recorded, standing at an amazing 8 feet 9 inches, 267 centimeters, as an adult. His huge height was caused by a rare trait called gigantism, which happened because his body made too much growth hormone when he was young. Rogan grew up in the country in Tennessee in the late 1800s. As he got older, he slowly became aware that he was different from his friends. Even though not much is known about Rogan's early life, it is clear that his size caused him special problems. He had to have clothes and furniture made just for him because he was so tall. Even though he had these physical problems, John Rogan was known for being kind and gentle. He worked on farms and was well liked in Hendersonville, where he lived. He even became a bit of a star there. People from nearby towns would come to see him and be amazed at how tall he was. Rogan's life was also marked by the health problems that came with being gigantism, such as joint pain, trouble moving around, and a weak immune system that made him more likely to get infections. Medical professionals and experts who want to learn more about conditions like gigantism and acromegaly were interested in Rogan's story. Because of his case, we learned a lot about the physical and social effects of being very tall, which helped us understand odd medical conditions better in the early 20th century. Sad to say, John Rogan's life was cut short at age 37 because of problems caused by an infection that got worse because he was so big. In 1905, he died, ending a life that had been full of amazing challenges and mental strength. Rogan's life was cut short, but his memory lives on. It is a powerful reminder of how different people's experiences are and how strong people can be when they are physically challenged. 18. Leonid Studnik. The amazing height of Leonid Studnik, a man from the Ukrainian town of Podolyancy, made him famous all over the world. He was one of the tallest men in modern history. His very tall height was caused by a medical condition, probably gigantism or acromegaly, which made his body keep growing much faster than it should have. Growing up in a rural area of Ukraine, Studnik's childhood was overshadowed by how quickly he got taller, which started to get him attention when he was a teenager. By the time he was an adult, he was over 8 feet 5 inches, about 257 centimeters tall, though exact measures were hard to get in his remote village. Living with his situation was very hard in many ways. Studnik had a lot of health problems, like joint pain and chronic back pain, which made it hard for him to find clothes that fit and get around in places that were meant for average-sized people. Even with these problems, he lived a pretty quiet life and tried to stay out of the public eye as much as possible. But Studnik's huge height finally caught the attention of the world's media, putting him in the public eye around the world. Journalists and scholars were interested in his case because it was so unusual. They wanted to learn more about the medical problems and social effects of being very tall. Even though Studnik liked his privacy, he did talk to the media and researchers about his condition and events from time to time. The story of his illness led to conversations about how to treat people with rare diseases and made more people aware of the problems these people face. He was 44 years old when he died in August 2014. His death ended a life that had been full of both huge difficulties and times when people looked closely at him. People still remember Studnik as a lesson of how complicated human biology is and how strong people can be when they are faced with tough situations. 17. Yao Defen. Yao Defen was born in Anhui, China in 1972. She was one of the tallest women in history and became famous around the world because of her height. Her tall height of 7 feet 8 inches, 234 centimeters, was due to gigantism, a rare disease that happens when the body makes too many growth hormones. From the start, Yao Defen's condition caused her a lot of physical problems. She had joint pain, trouble moving around, and it was always hard for her to find clothes and shoes that fit her properly. These problems were made worse by health risks like heart and breathing issues that are common in people with gigantism. In Chinese culture, Yao Defen's height was both interesting and troublesome. Some people liked how unique she was, while others saw how hard it was for her to live her daily life. Because she was so big, even simple things like getting around and finding a good place to stay were very hard for her. Even with all of these problems, Yao Defen was known for being kind and strong in the face of her illness. People in China talked about how easy it is to get medical care and how people there feel about physical differences when she was there. Yao Defen's life showed that people with rare medical conditions need more understanding and help. It also showed how hard it is for people to deal with these diseases in cultural settings. The case of Yao Defen got a lot of attention from the media and experts who want to learn more about gigantism and its effects. Her story showed how important medical research and support networks are for people living with rare disorders. It also showed the difficulties and joys of managing life with physical differences. There were health problems that led to Yao Defen's death in November 2012, when she was 40 years old. Her death marked the end of a life that had both amazing obstacles and times when she was in the public eye. 16. Sandy Allen. Sandy Allen was born on June 18, 1955, in Chicago, Illinois, USA. She had a lot of problems from a very young age because she grew so quickly. Allen is very tall, standing at 7 feet 7 inches, 231 centimeters. His huge height is due to a problem with his pituitary gland that caused it to make too much growth hormone. At a young age, she started to grow quickly. By the time she was 10, she was already 6 feet tall, which made her stand out from her friends. Allen's height kept going up as she got older, which caused a lot of health and social problems. She always had trouble finding clothes and shoes that fit, and because of her size, it was hard for her to do normal things like travel and find nice places to sit. Allen's family was there for her, even though she had to deal with these problems. She went to high school where people were still interested in and amazed by her height. The Guinness Book of World Records officially named Sandy Allen the tallest woman in the world in 1976. This was a big moment in her life. Because she was so tall, she became famous all over the world, and a sign of how unique people are. Allen's newfound fame got her on a lot of public shows, like talk shows, art shows, and interviews, where she talked about her life and pushed for people with unusual conditions to be understood and accepted. Sandy Allen dealt with the good and bad effects of her fame all through her life. She liked the attention and chances that came with holding the world record, but living with her condition made her feel alone and gave her a lot of problems to solve. Allen kept going even though she faced problems. She used her fame to teach and inspire others, stressing how important it is to accept yourself and the worth of every person, no matter how they look. She was the tallest woman in the world, and she died on August 13, 2008. But her legacy lives on, and she continues to show us how strong and brave it is to face extraordinary obstacles. Her story shows how strong the human spirit is and how important it is to accept yourself as you are. 14. Anna Haining Bates. In Millbrook, Nova Scotia, Anna Haining Bates was born on August 6, 1846. At 7 feet 11 inches, 241 meters, she was the tallest woman ever. Giantism, caused by growth hormone excess, was supposed to explain her height. Anna was famous at a young age due to her height. She performed with P.T. Barnum's circus as the Nova Scotia Giantess, or Queen of the Amazons, wowing audiences across the Americas and Europe. People lined up to view the world's tallest woman whenever she appeared. Anna rose above everyone and was known for her kindness, intelligence, and multilingualism. These qualities made her special and beloved, winning over audiences and dignitaries. Since Anna Haining Bates was married to Martin Van Buren Bates, the Kentucky Giant, their marriage made them a famous pair. Anna elegantly and dignifiedly accepted her distinctiveness despite health issues and mobility issues caused by her height. When Martin and Anna retired from public presentations, they moved to Seville, Ohio. There they started a family and lived quietly. Anna Haining Bates died at 41 on August 5, 1888, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most remarkable people in history due to her height and talents. Her narrative never fails to inspire and capture the human spirit and triumph despite great physical challenges. 13. Don Kohler. Due to his exceptional height of 8 feet 2 inches, 2.49 meters, Don Kohler has several health issues and life challenges. Kohler's height was attributed to gigantism, a hyperactive pituitary gland disease, when he was born in Montana on January 1, 1925. Height set Kohler apart from his peers from an early age, posing problems and attention. His warm and sympathetic nature won over everyone despite his formidable physical presence. Kohler has lifelong gigantism-related medical issues. The pressure of maintaining his enormous frame caused movement issues, joint pain, and heart and circulation system anomalies. Despite these obstacles, Kohler was upbeat and praised for his perseverance. Kohler's story highlights gigantism's unique obstacles and the necessity for medical care and support. His story shows the human spirit's ability to overcome huge physical challenges. Don Kohler died at 56 on September 26, 1981, inspiring and educating others about gigantism. As we count down the world's biggest people, Kohler's story encourages us to show compassion and empathy for those with special physical needs. 12. Jinlian Zheng. Chinese-born Zheng Jinlian is the tallest woman ever at 8 feet 1.75 inches, 248 meters. She was tall due to gigantism, a disease caused by an overactive pituitary gland generating too much growth hormone. Zheng's height captivated people from an early age. Despite respect, her life was challenging. Her obesity worsened joint pain and mobility issues. Zheng persevered and stayed positive despite these physical hurdles. Zheng Jinlian, classified in Guinness World Records as the tallest woman ever, is famous for her life story. Her story gripped the world and illuminated the harsh reality of gigantism. Her remembrance inspires empathy for those battling such challenges. Zheng, 17, died tragically. Her legacy celebrates bravery, tenacity, and the human spirit. Her life shows us the strength that comes from facing terrible events. As we honor the most individuals in history, Zheng Jinlian's story is a remarkable tribute to overcoming adversity. 11. Patrick Cotter O'Brien. Patrick Cotter O'Brien, who was born in Ireland in 1760, is one of the most famous people in history, both physically and figuratively. At an impressive 8 feet 1 inch tall, O'Brien was one of the first people who was recorded as being very tall. His huge size not only made him a sight to behold, but it also put him in the spotlight all over Europe in the 18th century, where people were amazed and interested in him. O'Brien was known for more than just his size. He was also known for having a gentle personality and a smart mind, which made him more than just a show. He worked with scientists and doctors of the time and helped them learn more about human growth and diseases like gigantism, which is thought to be caused by the pituitary gland working too hard. O'Brien's life did have some hard times, though. Because he was so tall, he had a lot of health problems, like trouble moving around and constant joint pain. Even though they were famous and admired, these physical problems showed how hard it is for people with rare medical conditions. Patrick Cotter O'Brien died on September 8, 1806, at the age of 46. He left behind a memory that goes beyond his huge size. His life continues to inspire and teach us, showing us how strong and resilient people can be, even when they are faced with terrible physical challenges. 10. Brahim Taqiullah. Moroccan-born, Brahim Taqiullah has the largest foot ever measured at 8 feet 1 inch, 2.46 meters. His height is abnormal because of acromegaly, which causes excessive growth hormone release after growth plates close. Taqiullah has remarkable 15.8 inch, 40.1 centimeter feet. Due to their size and weight, their uncommon characteristics cause daily challenges. For comfort and movement, he needs specific shoes. Despite his physical problems, Taqiullah is famous globally for his distinctiveness. He emphasizes human diversity. The engaging story exposes rare medical conditions including acromegaly. Taqiullah's tale teaches how to overcome physical issues and why society must accept physical diversity. 9. Bernard Coyne. Bernard Coyne was famously tall. Giantism, excess growth hormones, made him 8'2", 249 minutes. In Anthon, Iowa, Coyne was born. The Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus called him the tallest man on Earth. His massive size captivated Americans. Many liked him because he was nice and approachable despite his appearance. Lifelong health concerns from this condition plagued Coyne. His peculiar height caused considerable joint pain, movement problems, and other issues. He stayed positive and motivated others despite these obstacles. Poor 23-year-old Bernard Coyne died on May 20, 1921. His life and legacy educate about gigantism and the human spirit's ability to overcome physical restrictions. 8. Jinnat Ali. Imagine being 8'2" in a rural Sindh, Pakistan, town where everyone knows your name, Jinat Ali stated. The swollen pituitary gland made him huge from an early age. Because your body isn't built for that height, joint pain and mobility concerns make life challenging. Jinat remembers her issues with each step. Despite his height, his acquaintances stated he was polite and charming. You traveled far for top medical care. His story shows how difficult it is for rare patients to live in poverty. Jinat Ali's humility and strength reminded us that strength isn't just about being big, but also about handling life's challenges.
7. Edouard Beaupré. The Willow Bunch giant, Edouard Beaupré, was one of the tallest people in history, standing at 8 feet 3 inches, 2.51 meters. Beaupré, who was born in Canada on January 9, 1881, had acromegaly, a disorder defined by an overproduction of growth hormone following the closure of the growth plates, which contributed to his extraordinary stature. He became famous as a freak show due to his enormous stature, which landed him gigs in sideshows and circuses all over North America. Beaupré, despite his towering height, was regarded as a kind giant, well-liked by everybody who met him. With his towering stature, he struggled mightily with health issues. Among Beaupré's acromegaly-related problems were persistent pain and limited movement. His optimistic perspective and unwavering spirit won him many admirers, despite all that he had to overcome. At the tender age of 23, Edouard Beaupré went away on July 3, 1904. His life and work shed light on the difficulties of gigantism and the universal attraction with persons who challenge societal expectations of physical appearance. 6. Sultan Kösen. At an incredible 8 feet 2.8 inches, 2.51 meters, Sultan Kösen of Turkey is acknowledged worldwide as one of the tallest living beings. Kösen was born on December 10, 1982, and his unusual height is due to pituitary gigantism, a disorder caused by an overactive pituitary gland. In 2011, Kösen's life took a dramatic turn when the Guinness World Records officially acknowledged him as the tallest living man on Earth. Kösen has overcome enormous obstacles, including health concerns associated with his condition, such as mobility and joint issues, despite his towering height. Nevertheless, Kösen has fully accepted his singularity and has transformed into a worldwide advocate, bringing attention to gigantism and championing the cause of medical research and assistance for those with uncommon illnesses. People all throughout the globe are still learning and being inspired by his narrative, which highlights the incredible variety of human beings and the strength needed to deal with life's challenges while having extraordinary physical features. 5. Väinö Mielirin. The Finnish Man. Väinö Mielirin, who was born on February 27, 1909, is known as one of the biggest men ever. A trait called pituitary gigantism, which is caused by an overactive pituitary gland, made Mielirin very tall. She stood an impressive 8 feet 3 inches, 2.52 meters, tall. Throughout his life, Mielirin was known for being very tall, which made him famous in Finland and beyond. In his own right, he became famous, and he often put on shows and fairs to show off his huge size. People admired Mielirin's height, but he had to deal with a lot of problems because of his condition. For example, he had health problems related to gigantism, like joint pain and trouble moving around. Even with these problems, he was known as a kind and friendly person who was loved by those who knew him. Väinö Mielirin died on April 13, 1963, at the age of 54. He left behind a legacy that continues to inspire and amaze people about how different people are and how complicated rare medical conditions like gigantism can be. 4. Leonid Stadnik. Born in Ukraine in 1971, Leonid Stadnik attracted international notice for his remarkable height, 8 feet 5 inches, 7 meters. Although official confirmation by Guinness World Records was never conducted because of his unwillingness for public measurement, he claimed to be the tallest living man in the world. Stadnik's great height was ascribed to a disorder thought to be pituitary gigantism, or acromegaly, which produced too much growth hormone. Stadnik avoided public attention by leading a solitary life in his rural Ukrainian town despite his great height. His height assertions generated controversy since some doctors questioned their veracity. The fact that Stadnik refused official measurement added to the enigma of his illness and fueled continuous discussion among doctors concerning gigantism and its consequences. At 44, Leonid Stadnik passed away in 2014, leaving behind a legacy of curiosity and unresolved concerns regarding his unusual height and the medical issues defining his existence.
3. John F. Carroll. John F. Carroll, also known as Jack, was a remarkable individual recognized for his exceptional height of 8 feet, 7.5 inches, 2.63 meters, making him one of the tallest people in recorded history. Born in 1932 in Buffalo, New York, Carroll's towering stature was attributed to a medical condition, likely a form of gigantism or acromegaly, characterized by excessive growth hormone production. Carroll's life was marked by his extraordinary height, which brought him both attention and challenges. Despite his imposing physical presence, he was remembered for his gentle demeanor and kind-hearted nature. He became a public figure, appearing in various media and making appearances that showcased his height to the public. Throughout his life, Carroll faced significant health issues related to his condition, including joint problems and mobility difficulties. Despite these challenges, he maintained a positive outlook and endeared himself to many with his resilience and spirit. John F. Carroll passed away on April 28, 1969, at the age of 37, leaving behind a legacy that continues to fascinate and educate people about the complexities of rare medical conditions and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of physical adversity. 2. John Rogan. In 1868, Joe Rogan was born in Tennessee. John Rogan was among the tallest people in recorded history, at 8 feet 9 inches, 2.67 meters. Gigantism, a disorder marked by too high growth hormone generation, explained his remarkable height. Rogan's great height distinguished him from others from an early age and attracted both respect and difficulties all of his life. Though he had a strong physical presence, he was well known for his friendliness and mildness. Everywhere he went, his stature attracted public attention and wonder. But Rogan's condition presented serious health problems like extreme joint pain, movement problems, and other gigantism-related issues. Notwithstanding these challenges, he kept a good attitude and showed tenacity. He left behind a legacy that still fascinates and informs people about the variety of human beings and the complexity of rare medical diseases. 1. Robert Wadlow. Born in Illinois, USA, on February 22, 1918, Robert Wadlow is still the tallest individual in recorded history, towering an incredible 8 feet 11 inches, 2.72 meters. His amazing height was ascribed to pituitary gland hyperplasia, which causes too high production of growth hormone. Wadlow became well known worldwide for his extraordinary height, which made him a sight wherever he visited over his life. He kept a good attitude and a soft demeanor that won everyone around him, even if his height created physical hurdles, including mobility problems and health troubles. Among many accomplishments, Wadlow made appearances in circuses where he displayed his great height to crowds. Overcoming the challenges related with his disability with grace and tenacity, he came to represent resiliency and will. Sadly, Robert Wadlow, only 22, died on July 15, 1940. His legacy still enthralls and motivates people since it reminds them of the variety of human beings and the great powers of the human spirit against physical hardship. From Robert Wadlow's legendary height to today's modern giants, these people have shown us that being larger than life is about the amazing stories they have lived rather than the physical stature. Their paths of resiliency and success inspire us that the human spirit can soar over any challenges. Thus, here's how we should honor variety. and welcome the unique qualities every one of us possesses. See you next time.